Welcome, fellow nomads, to the Nomad Nation Network. I am your host and fellow nomad, Step Van Rav. Welcome to Nomad News for August 7th, 2019. And our first story, guys, I have the first story about myself. So many times, people in the nomad community, in the Nomad Nation, ask me, what is the biggest drawback or what is the biggest negative when it comes to living the step van life? Van life, step van life. I live in a step van, so the step van life for me, right? What is the biggest negative? So the biggest negative I'm going to show you is right here. That's right, guys. I got a $180 parking ticket the other day, a couple of days ago. I was in Southgate and I went to a Walmart. That's the nearest Walmart to where my office is right here. So I went to Walmart and I pulled into the Walmart and I saw the security coming over to me. So I just went ahead and pulled out of the Walmart. Didn't want to have any kind of confrontation with the security. So I left the Walmart and pulled down the street because the Walmart wasn't open yet. It was about 4:30 in the morning and the Walmart wasn't open yet. And I had moved from my parking spot that was going to have street sweeping at 4 a.m. So I had to be moved out of my parking place where I'd parked for the night by 4 a.m. So I'd moved down to the Walmart because I needed to buy a pump for my gas bike. It had a flat on the back and I wanted to air up the tire. And this is the pump I bought right here. How about that? Magic. I wanted to buy a pump, but I pulled down the street to wait on the Walmart to open. Or I figured I'd pull back to the Walmart about 6 a.m. So I pulled a couple of blocks, a little over a half a mile from the Walmart. It was the nearest place I saw a parking place that I could fit. So I basically just pulled right in there and it was a perfect little parking place. I was right next to like car dealerships and I have a Snap-on truck. So I'm like, man, this is perfect for me. And I pulled in there and just kind of set up shop, but I was just decided to wait out the Walmart opening. So I literally was just sitting in my driver's seat with my phone and just checking out my phone and looking at my Facebook and looking at my IG. Yeah. Anyway, I was looking at my phone and checking some social media apps out. And I had left my parking lights on and my engine was running. I was idling when all of a sudden, out of my peripheral vision to this side here, the passenger side, the right side, I see somebody standing on the sidewalk. So I immediately looked because it freaked me out because I was out there by myself. There was literally nobody. It was still dark. Very, very, very little traffic even up and down the major thoroughfare. And I was parked on a little side street right off of it. And it's all car dealerships and mechanic shops where I was parked. So I'm like, oh man, I am so good here. Anyway, I see somebody standing there. So it freaked me the hell out. And I look really quick and it is a parking enforcement officer. And I'm like, I'm not in the street sweeping area. What is going on? So I sit there for a minute and I wondered if he saw me sitting in my seat. So I kind of waited for a second and sure enough, he's writing a ticket. So I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So I stand up and I'm like, what's up, bro? And he doesn't even acknowledge me. So I'm like, huh. So I open the door and I'm like, hey man, what's up? I'm not parked in the street sweeping. I checked the sign when I pulled in. There's no street sweeping until 7 a.m. And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, it is. And I'm like, what? And so at this point, I got a little heated under the collar because I knew he was lying. And he basically, I could tell he realized that he was out there on his own. And I was getting pretty hot, pretty quick, pretty frustrated. Like, what are you doing, dude? And he just kind of wrapped the ticket up and just stuck it on my mirror really quick. Because I have a big truck. You can't really just reach the windshield wiper. So he literally stuck it on my side view mirror and just started back to his truck. So I grabbed the ticket a little bit baffled and beside myself because I don't really know what's going on with this guy. What is he writing me a ticket for? I don't even get it. So I look at the ticket and it is $180 and I literally flipped my lid. That's a nice way to put it. And I'm like, what? And so like, I literally started going off on this guy. Like, what in the hell are you doing, dude? Like, what is this? I started yelling at him, telling him that, I am not parked in a street sweeping area. There's no street sweeping until 7 a.m. per the sign. So what is he writing me a ticket for? And then he starts telling me just to look at the ticket. So I was so frustrated or so wound up that I could not like comprehend what the ticket was saying. So I calmed down a little bit, or I had to focus on the ticket. And basically what he wrote me a ticket for, 2 tickets. He wrote me one ticket, which was $53, and the other one was, I think, $123 or something like that. And the tickets that he wrote me is, in the city of Southgate, you cannot idle your truck in a commercial truck. So that was the $56 ticket. And then the other ticket that he wrote me was an oversized vehicle, which was my truck. You can't have a truck. You can't have a commercial truck parked on the street that is over 20 foot long. So I don't know what UPS and all those guys do during the day, because this is a city ordinance and there's no time limits. It's just across the board. Because after he left, he didn't sprint, but he basically trotted back to his truck pretty quick and got the hell out of there, because he could tell I was pretty heated. And so he got out of there, and it took me a minute, and I got back in the truck and sat down and like really started studying the ticket and what it was. And then I got on my phone, looked at the Southgate website and their oversized vehicle ordinances and all of that stuff. And per their regulations, they have this law on the books. It's been on the books since like 2006. So there's really no way out of the tickets. I'm going to have to pay them. It's such a waste of money, $180. What makes me so angry is that I woke up so early in the morning to move, to make sure I didn't get a street sweeping ticket. And if I would have just stayed asleep or overslept and got the $74 street sweeping ticket, it would have saved me a lot of money. When it comes to when people ask me what I think my biggest hurdle in van life here in Los Angeles, in metropolitan Los Angeles, is definitely parking tickets. And I know you people that don't live in Southern California, or you do not live in LA, or you really haven't been to LA, you think, oh, any idiot shouldn't get a parking ticket if you just read the signs. Let me tell you something. The system is set up to make sure you get parking tickets. It's almost to a point, it's like extortion, because they sabotage you just like this. I mean, there's no signs telling you what the city ordinance is. It's something you would have to look at on a website or something, because there's no signs on the sidewalk telling you that you can't idle a truck, or there's no signs anywhere, but it's just the overall city ordinance. And you can't fight them. You can't really fight these tickets. They will not give you any leniency or anything. So I literally view it like it's almost like extortion. They're extorting money out of people on a daily basis. Doesn't matter how hard you try, you're going to get parking tickets. It's enough complaining out of me for my own story, right? I hope I get some sympathy for you guys down in the comments at least. Hey, before we get to our next story, I want to remind you guys to hit that little red subscribe button and click the little bell right next to it so you get a notification every single time that we upload a new video for Nomad News. That way you stay in the know and know what's going on in the Nomad Nation. And on to our next story, guys. It is going to be the fun and cute short bus schoolie couple, Nomadic Movement. They are going through some major drama right now. If you have not heard, they have gotten a cease and desist letter, I believe that's what it's called, from a lawyer from a sunglasses and apparel company that's called Nomadic Movement.
What is up, you guys? So today we wanted to bring you guys along a super fun and exciting journey today, but something happened yesterday that's kind of been bothering us, and we want to talk to you guys about it.
So we got an email yesterday morning from a lawyer who represents a company called Nomadic Movement, and our name is the Nomadic Movement. And this lawyer, basically, to sum up the email, it was a cease and desist to stop using the name the Nomadic Movement because they hold a copyright on the name the Nomadic Movement. And It's kind of been like taking up a lot of our mind space for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So we want to just talk to you guys about it because this is kind of what's going on in this journey for us right now.
Right. So obviously it's kind of a big deal because worst comes to worst, if this kind of pans out the way that we don't want it to, is we would have to change our name, which I think would be a huge deal.
It's a big deal for a lot of reasons, but mostly it's like our kind of like our identity. It's like a name that we came up with because we thought it represented us really well.
Right.
Back when we first started this channel, when I first got laid off from my job, and it's just also like what identifies us on YouTube. So imagine like Amazon having to change their name from Amazon to something else.
Right.
So if you go to look for Amazon, it's not there anymore.
Exactly.
So that's what we're worried is going to happen to us.
And another thing we want to address is, we don't want to harm anybody else's business. That is not our intention. When we came up with the name, the Nomadic Movement, we had no idea that there was another company out there called Nomadic Movement. So our intention isn't to be spiteful or to harm
Steal.
this other business. Yeah.
Yes, the other name or whatever.
Right.
And just to let you know, Nomadic Movement is a hat and eyeglasses company, and they go to like a lot of festivals and sell their merchandise there. They're based out of Colorado.
Yeah.
So we want to make this video for 2 reasons. First, we want to tell you that there may be a chance that we have to change the name of our channel within 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So the attorney gave us 2 weeks to change our name, or they're gonna press legal charges. And the second reason why we're making this video is if anyone has any knowledge about this stuff, if anyone knows anything, we're just asking for help because we don't know anything about this. Mm-hmm. To us, something seems, from our first look at it, something seems wrong, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem right to us when we first look at it. But we also don't know anything about this stuff, and we don't want to be naive and email them back and be like, yeah, go screw yourselves or whatever.
Of course.
We want to be respectful, and if we did something wrong, we want to fix it.
Right.
But something seems
a little off.
A little there could be a sense of malicious in this. I don't know. We don't know, but we're just asking you guys for help.
Yeah. So if any of you guys have any experience with something like this, or you know someone that has experience with this, we're gonna leave our email below if you guys want to shoot us an email.
We'll also include the document, the write-up of the email that we got.
Right.
Below, we're gonna have to get rid of some of the private information in there.
Right.
But if you guys want to take a read at it, if you know anything, and let us know what you think and what we should do next, because we just don't want to have to go back to the United States and go to court.
And they are telling them to cease and desist using the name Nomadic Movement, which their YouTube channel is The Nomadic Movement with THE. And this company is called Nomadic Movement, and they're on Instagram, and they're, like I said, a sunglass and apparel company. But the thing about it is the Nomadic Movement, the apparel company, they follow me on Instagram, and I could be mistaken here. I haven't really looked into the details, but I think the Nomadic Movement has been around quite longer than Nomadic Movement on Instagram, the company. So if that is the case, that is just so rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way anyway, because the Nomadic Movement has been around for a while now. If this sunglass company has been around for 5 or 6 years, then they do have a case, I guess. But if they are a new startup, which I believe they are, if I'm wrong and I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But I believe the Nomadic Movement, the YouTube couple, I think they've been around longer than Nomadic Movement, the sunglass and hat apparel company. So that's what's going on with Nomadic Movement. We're talking to lawyers, I believe, and if anybody has been through this kind of scenario and you know exactly how that works, you might scoot on over to Nomadic Movement's channel. I'll be sure to link it down below. You'll find any story I talk about, anybody I talk about. I'll post all their links, description down below, so you can go to their channel and check out that video. All right, guys, now on to our last 2 quick stories. If you have not heard the new viral van life sensation, yes, of course, I'm talking about our girl in the van life community, our #1 YouTube van life celebrity star with 3 videos, Janelle Eliana, I think it's Eliana, Eliana, is going to be making an appearance on Philip DeFranco, his podcast. So that is going to be very interesting. So if you don't know who Philip DeFranco is, he is a major YouTuber that has a news network show, something like mine, but way more professional. And he also is starting a podcast, and Janelle is going to be one of his guests on his podcast.
And very fantastically, the first official guest that we will have on that channel as of Wednesday is Janelle, Eliana, and her snake Alfredo, who, if you don't know, is just this out of nowhere breakout star on YouTube. So much so, I mean, like, such an outlier. There are full-blown conspiracy theories about her rise.
So we have to tune into that and make sure we support our girl. And they're going to be talking about the conspiracy theories that are going around. Oh, you crazy tinfoil hat kids. Cool. Yeah, they're going to be addressing all the conspiracy theories going around about Janelle. And our very last story is going to be our other crazy YouTube girl in the van life community, in the RV life community, and that is going to be UnstopableMorgan. UnstopableMorgan is thinking about selling her RV. What does she call that thing? Diablo? I can't remember what she calls it. It's like a Hispanic name. She really calls it Box. But she's got another name for it too, but I can't remember what it is. But anyway, her old classic Dodge, she is thinking about selling it and getting rid of her RV and using her Bronco and buying a horse trailer and building the horse trailer out into a tiny home. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. She's already ripped the entire dash out of her Bronco. She's building her dash into to have like a fridge in the dash and everything. I'm very interested to see how this is going to come out. She's using sheet metal to do this, and I hope she's going to round those corners, because somebody could definitely get decapitated if they run into something with a sheet metal dash, right? That's what I'm thinking. Morgan is unstoppable, so when she puts her mind to it, she'll get it done. I have complete faith in that. But it will be interesting to see if she does get rid of the RV and just sets out living in her Bronco. I think she's going to be missing the space from the RV. When you spend a lot of time in a space, the space gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but she seems to think that the RV she has is too big. So she had originally thought about pulling the Bronco behind the RV, but now she thinks the RV is too big, so she wants to get rid of the RV and buy a trailer, a horse trailer, to build into a tiny home to pull behind the Bronco. We'll see how that works out. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Be sure to head over to Morgan's channel. I'll link it below too in the description, so you can head over and tell her what you think about her building a horse trailer into her tiny home and pulling that behind her big jacked up 4-wheel drive Bronco. Okay, Nomad Nation, that is going to do it for this episode of Nomad News. Remember, this is the only van source news source on YouTube brought to you by a fellow nomad, Step Van Rav, that lives in a 2003 MT45 Freightliner Snap-on, retired Snap-on truck. Remember, if you can't be good, at least be good at it. Peace. Safe journey.